Welcome, and thank you for your interest in the results of the annual Fairfax County Youth Survey for the 2013-2014 school year. The Fairfax County Youth Survey provides data to county, school, and community-based organizations to assess youth strengths and needs, develop programs and services, monitor trends, measure community indicators, and guide countywide planning of prevention efforts. Complete results from the survey can be found in the reports on the Youth Survey website. There are more questions asked on the survey than are covered in this presentation. The survey is comprehensive and covers many topics. Some examples are alcohol, tobacco, and other drug use, depression, bullying, nutrition and physical activity, and sexual health. The survey is anonymous. No identifying information for the student is stored with the results, and it's voluntary. Students are instructed that they may decline to answer any of the questions on the survey or may completely opt out of taking the survey. Students are asked questions about their behaviors, experiences, and the risk and protective influences in their lives.
The 2013 Fairfax County Youth Survey was completed by over 47,000 Fairfax County public school students in grades 6, 8, 10, and 12, representing 89% of enrolled students in those grades. Sixth grade students take a shortened, modified survey. Where available, sixth grade data are referenced in this presentation. More detailed information can be found in the sixth grade report on the Fairfax County Youth Survey webpage. Data from the Fairfax County Youth Survey show how having just 3 assets, also known as protective factors, gives students the tools they need to respond to life challenges and make healthier choices. 6 assets from the survey were chosen to see how they relate to teen behavior. Having high personal integrity, performing community service, having teachers recognize good work, having community adults to talk to, participating in extracurricular activities, and having parents available for help. Through the Fairfax County Youth Survey, we can see that the more assets youth have, the less likely they are to engage in risky behavior. Whether it's bullying, sexual activity, alcohol use, marijuana use, carrying weapons, binge drinking, cigarette use, or gang involvement, the more assets a child has, the lower their risk. For example, of youth who report having none of the 6 assets listed, 38% drank alcohol in the past 30 days. Of youth who report having 3 of the assets, only 22% drank alcohol in the past 30 days. Of the students who have all 6 of the assets listed, only 10% drank alcohol in the past 30 days.
Let's look at the survey results for alcohol, tobacco, and other drugs. Students were asked if they had more than a sip of alcohol in the past 30 days. Overall, 19% report that they have. This is lower than the national average of 24%. Unfortunately, alcohol use is much more prevalent as students get older. Over 1/3 of 12th graders drank alcohol in the past 30 days. The rate for drinking among female students is comparable to male students. Almost 1 in 4 white students report drinking in the past 30 days, and this is higher than other races and ethnicities. Binge drinking is defined as having 5 or more drinks in one sitting in the past 2 weeks. Binge drinking rates for Fairfax County students are lower than the national average, and binge drinking rates are comparable for both female and male students. Similar patterns exist for binge drinking as for drinking alcohol. Similar to the pattern of alcohol use, Fairfax County youth report lower rates of marijuana use than students nationally, but rates increase by grade level. 1 in 5 12th graders used marijuana in the past 30 days. Unlike alcohol, male students are more likely to use marijuana than female students. Rates vary by race and ethnicity from 5% to 14%.
Inhalants are volatile substances with chemical vapors that can be inhaled to produce mind-altering effects. This includes a variety of products common in the home, such as spray paints, glues, aerosols, whipped cream cans, and cleaning fluids. Use rates are very low overall and are within 0.2 percentage points of those reported nationally. Inhalant use is an anomaly for drug use in Fairfax County, where the highest use rates are among 6th and 8th graders for this dangerous behavior. It is encouraging that inhalant use in 2013 is the lowest it has been since 2010, especially for 8th graders whose use decreased by almost 70%. The survey questioned whether students use painkillers or prescription medications without a doctor's order. It was discovered that the misuse of these drugs is comparable to the prevalence of youth smoking cigarettes. As with other drugs, use increases as students get older.
Smoking among Fairfax County youth is less prevalent than it is nationally, but the pattern is the same. Students were more likely to smoke as they get older. Cigarette smoking rates remain about the same in 2013 as they were in 2012 and are approximately one-third of what they were in 2001 when the first Fairfax County Youth Survey was administered. Looking at drug use for 6th graders who take a shortened, modified version of the survey, it is revealed that inhalants are the most prevalent drug used. Overall, 2% report using inhalants in the past 30 days, more than alcohol, cigarettes, or marijuana. A closer look shows that Black, Hispanic, and Asian 6th graders are about twice as likely to use inhalants than white 6th graders. Fairfax County Youth Survey data show a young person who engages in one risky behavior is more likely to engage in other risky behaviors. Let's take alcohol, tobacco, and other drugs as an example. Students who report using alcohol, tobacco, or other drugs in the past 30 days are more likely to report having depressive symptoms, engaging in sexual intercourse, as well as bullying and cyberbullying others than students who had not used alcohol, tobacco, or other drugs. In addition to asking students about their behavior, we ask them about the support that they have. The good news is that the data shows us that what parents think matters. Students were asked if they thought their parents disapproved of them drinking alcohol. Of the students who perceived their parents thought it was very wrong for them to drink, 90% did not drink alcohol in the past 30 days, compared to 36% of students who perceived their parents thought it was not wrong at all.
The Fairfax County Youth Survey asked students questions about depression, suicide, and unhealthy weight loss behaviors. Students were asked, during the past 12 months, did you ever feel so sad or hopeless almost every day for 2 weeks or more in a row that you stopped doing some usual activities? Almost 30% of students report depressive symptoms in the past year, and rates increase by grade level. These rates are slightly higher than the national average for 10th and 12th graders, as reported by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, but it is encouraging that depressive symptoms were lower in 2013 than 2012 for almost every demographic category. Though the overall rate of depressive symptoms in Fairfax County is 30%, a closer look shows that female students are affected at a much higher rate than males at every grade level and for all races and ethnicities. This is a pattern we also see with the national data. Nearly half of Hispanic females report depressive symptoms in the past year. When asked about suicide, 17% of students report seriously considering suicide in the past year. Approximately 1 in 5 female students, as well as Hispanic, Asian, and students of other or multiple races and ethnicities, have considered suicide.
As with depression, the rate of students who have seriously considered suicide is slightly higher for Fairfax County than for students nationally. Students who report attempting suicide is 4%, but the rate is much higher for Hispanic youth. Nationally, almost twice as many 10th graders and 60% more 12th graders actually attempted suicide than those in Fairfax County. Female students are much more likely to attempt suicide than male students. Through the Fairfax County Youth Survey, we see that positive influences in students' lives make a difference in depressive symptoms and suicide. For male students who report having all 6 of the protective factors listed, the rate of depressive symptoms is only 10%, compared to 47% for those who report depressive symptoms when they have none of the protective factors. Similarly, for female students who report having all 6 of the protective factors listed, the rate of depressive symptoms is only 15%, compared to 75% for those who report depressive symptoms when they have none of the protective factors. We can see that having protective factors in their lives makes a profound difference for our youth, especially in the case of girls as it relates to depression and suicide.
There is a strong correlation between depressive symptoms and other unhealthy experiences. The data results are not meant to imply cause and effect relationships. The data does not indicate whether depressive symptoms make someone more likely to be victimized or if being a victim leads to depressive symptoms. But it is important to note that students who report depressive symptoms in the past year are more likely in every case to report using alcohol, tobacco, and other drugs, having thoughts of suicide, been a victim of cyberbullying, or to have used unhealthy weight loss methods than students who did not report depressive symptoms. Unhealthy weight loss behaviors include using diet pills, powders, and liquids without a doctor's prescription, fasting for 24 hours or more, and either vomiting or using laxatives to lose or not gain weight. Overall, 10% of students have used unhealthy weight loss methods in the past 30 days. This equates to over 5,600 high school students in Fairfax County Public Schools. Female students are affected at a much higher rate than males at every grade level and for all races and ethnicities. Hispanic females are disproportionately affected, with almost 1 in 5 reporting use of at least one unhealthy weight loss method.
The survey also asked students questions about the food they eat and the amount of physical activity they get. Childhood obesity is a national concern. Unhealthy nutrition and physical activity behaviors are linked to a variety of chronic diseases, such as cancer, stroke, diabetes, and heart disease. Youth who adopt good physical activity and nutritional habits are likely to be at a healthy weight and be on the road to lifelong good health. Students were asked a series of questions regarding the fruits and vegetables they ate in the past 7 days. Almost 1/3 of 6th graders eat 5 daily servings of fruits and vegetables, but the percentage of students meeting this goal decreases with age. There is not much difference between female and male students. The percentage meeting nutrition requirements by race and ethnicity vary from 21% to 30%. The number of youth who eat 5 fruits and vegetables per day is significantly less nationally than it is in Fairfax County. It is recommended that youth get an hour of physical activity every day. This graph shows the percentage of students who get an hour of aerobic activity 5 or more days in the past week. Over half of our 6th graders are active at least 5 days a week, but the percentage decreases as our youth get older. The percentage drops 17 percentage points from the 6th grade to the 12th grade. This is a national pattern. Just under 1/2 of male students report getting 5 or more days of aerobic activity per week, while less than 1/3 of females report the same rates for physical activity. Consistent with national data patterns, students of races and ethnicities other than white are less likely to get at least 1 hour of physical activity 5 days or more a week. The concern is that overall there appears to be a downward trend since 2010 of youth getting the recommended amount of physical activity.
Screen time is the time spent on the average school day watching TV, playing video games, or using a computer or other device like smartphones for something that is not schoolwork, including Facebook and other internet activities. The more hours students spend on screen time, the less opportunity they have for physical activity. Over half of Fairfax County youth get 3 or more hours of screen time on the average school night. That rate increases to 60% for Black and Hispanic youth. The 2013 data indicate that there is a shift in screen time use. While there were fewer youth watching 3 or more hours of television per day, there was a larger increase in youth playing video games or using devices and the internet for non-school related activities for 3 or more hours per day. Females reported the largest increase since 2011 for this activity, with 13.5 percentage points. Recent research has linked inadequate sleep with a higher risk for childhood obesity. 1/3 of Fairfax youth get at least 8 or more hours of sleep on the average school night. This varies widely by grade, with almost 60% of 8th graders getting at least 8 hours, but about 1/3 of that rate for 12th graders. Nationwide, more 12th graders get 8 or more hours of sleep per night at 23%.
Students were asked about their experiences with bullying, cyberbullying, racial or cultural harassment, teen dating abuse, and gangs. Students were provided the instruction, bullying is when one or more students tease, threaten, spread rumors about, hit, shove, or hurt another student over and over again. It is not bullying when two students of about the same strength or power argue or fight or tease each other in a friendly way. Students were asked to respond to questions about whether they had ever been bullied and if they had ever bullied anyone else. Bullying peaks in the 8th grade for both bullying others and being bullied. Almost 60% of 8th graders report being the victim of bullying. Female students are more likely to report being the victims of bullying, while male students are more likely to bully others than female students.
Electronic bullying is bullying through email, chat rooms, instant messaging, websites, or text messaging. Though cyberbullying can be devastating due to the number of people that can be reached instantaneously, the student-reported prevalence of cyberbullying is much lower than that of traditional bullying. Female students are more likely to be victims of cyberbullying than male students, but are comparable to male students for cyberbullying another student at their school. By race and ethnicity, the prevalence for cyberbullying others ranges from 8% to 11%, and the prevalence for being cyberbullied by others ranges from 11% to 18%. National rates for cyberbullying are comparable to those reported in Fairfax County.
Students were asked if anyone said something bad about their race or culture, or if they had done the same to anyone else. 6th graders report a fairly low rate for this behavior, with only 5% being the aggressor. But it jumps significantly to 29% by the 8th grade and another 11 percentage points by 12th grade. Looking at racial and cultural harassment by race and ethnicity, white students are less likely to be harassed based on their race or ethnicity, but students of all races and ethnicities report about the same for harassing others.
Students were asked several questions related to unhealthy relationships. Teen dating abuse is often associated with physical injuries, but before you see bruises, there may be other warning signs that a relationship is not healthy or safe. Unhealthy relationship experiences increase by grade level. By the 12th grade, approximately 1 in 5 students have had a partner in a dating or serious relationship who always wanted to know their whereabouts. 10% experienced verbal abuse, 7% were pressured to have sex when they didn't want to, and 5% were physically abused in the past year. An estimated 1,700 high school students in Fairfax County Public Schools are affected by physical dating abuse, while more than double that number are affected by verbal abuse. Male and female students report roughly the same for experiencing controlling behaviors and physical abuse, but female students are about twice as likely to experience verbal abuse or to be pressured to have sex when they didn't want to. Students of all races and ethnicities experience dating abuse, but to different degrees. Hispanic students and students of other and multiple races and ethnicities report the highest rate of controlling, verbal, and physical abuse, as well as being pressured to have sex, while Asian students report the lowest rates in all areas.
While the youth survey is not the ideal tool for measuring the number of gang members in Fairfax County, it can tell us a great deal about their lives. Youth who report ever being in gangs show increased risk across all aspects of their lives, including their school, family, and community. Though fewer than 3% of Fairfax youth report ever belonging to a gang, they are at higher risk for other aggressive behaviors and unhealthy experiences. Youth who have been in a gang are more likely to report that they have used alcohol, tobacco, or other drugs, had sex, and experienced depressive symptoms. Those who have been in a gang are also more likely to have attacked someone in the past year than those who have never been in a gang. Students were asked if they had been physically forced to have sexual intercourse when they didn't want to. This question was not asked in the context of a dating relationship, and it should not be assumed that the aggressor was a current boyfriend or girlfriend. 5% of females report that they had been physically forced to have sex. Males reported half the female rate. When comparing by grade level, we see that nationally the rates are higher than in Fairfax County, with 7% of 10th graders and approximately 1 in 12 12th graders having been physically forced to have sex.
Students were asked questions about sexual behavior in order to identify health-related issues. Overall, 19% of students report that they have had sex. This increases by grade level. Almost 40% of 12th graders have had sex. There is variation among races and ethnicities ranging from 10% to 28%. National rates for sex are 2.5 times that of Fairfax County for 10th graders and almost 70% higher for 12th graders. The prevalence of oral sex is slightly higher than sexual intercourse in almost every demographic category. Condom use is an important measure of sexual health from the standpoint of prevention, both for pregnancy and sexually transmitted diseases. The majority of students have never had sex. For those who are having sex, more are using condoms than not. Countywide, 68% of youth who are sexually active report using a condom at last intercourse. Lastly, contraceptive use is more prevalent for older students. 89% of sexually active 12th graders use some method to prevent pregnancy at last sexual intercourse, compared to 80% of 10th graders and 66% of 8th graders. Overall, 15% use no method of contraception at all or cannot identify the method of contraception used.
Thank you for your interest in the Fairfax County Youth Survey. The survey gives us a window into the lives of our youth in Fairfax County. While we see that Fairfax County youth are doing better than their peers nationally in areas such as substance use and nutrition, we still want to improve our numbers whenever possible. Decreasing substance use, especially for alcohol, is a challenge for our community. With approximately half of our youth reporting bullying behavior and the increasing prevalence of cyberbullying, both bullying and cyberbullying require our community's attention. In addition, continued focus on depression and suicide in our community is needed. Fairfax County youth remain above the national average for depressive symptoms and suicidal ideation. Improving students' habits in the areas of nutrition and physical activity is necessary to combat obesity. Helping youth in our community develop good lifelong habits will enable them to lead healthy and productive lives. And finally, finding ways to increase adult engagement with our community's youth would provide the benefit of building resiliency in youth and decreasing the likelihood of youth participating in risky behaviors. The data show us that when we give our teens opportunities to be involved, offer supportive relationships, and recognize their good work and accomplishments, we give them the assets to help them make good decisions and become resilient to risky behaviors. Above all else, it is vital that youth have at least one caring, trusted, and supportive adult relationship in building resiliency. Adults can decide to be the one, whether they are from the family, schools, or community. Adults should ask youth how they are doing in school as well as life in general. By listening and providing support, especially when things are not going well, youth will feel like they are cared for and know what they do matters. When youth are doing well, providing praise and specific feedback is better than just saying, "Good job." In addition, giving youth opportunities for meaningful participation and pro-social bonding helps build a feeling of community. Helping youth set goals that reflect positive thinking and a belief that they can be successful is important to increase performance, achievement, and well-being. Finally, setting clear and consistent boundaries provides youth with explicit rules on the expectations of behavior. Fairfax County youth who report that their families had clear rules, especially about alcohol and drug use, also reported that they were less likely to engage in risky behaviors.
To learn more about the Fairfax County Youth Survey or view the full report, presentations, survey instruments, fact sheets, and videos, visit www.fairfaxcounty.gov/youth-survey. There is a prevention toolkit that provides ideas on how you can take action in your family and community. You can also view detailed topic-specific presentations on substance use, bullying and cyberbullying, teen dating abuse, depression and suicide, or nutrition and physical activity. The Prevention Toolkit also provides resources for these topics. View the toolkit at www.fairfaxcounty.gov/ncs/prevention/toolkit.htm. To learn more about resiliency and how you can help build resiliency in youth, visit www.fcps.edu/dss/ips/resiliency/index.shtml. For questions regarding the Fairfax County Youth Survey, email Sophia Dutton at fairfaxcounty.gov. For questions regarding intervention and prevention services in Fairfax County Public Schools, email Dee Dee Baylor at fcps.edu.